What up, my freaks? RuinusInsight here with part 7 of my Total Warhammer 3 modded Kroq-Gar campaign. As we saw last time, the crater of the Walking Dead has fallen to the Lizardmen. Khalida and the court of Libaras destroyed at Libaras, and then the Silver Host being broken at Lamia. Now we're able to move north and fight Scarby, who unfortunately decided to be a coward and not fight our armies directly, though he was in range of us. A little bit surprising, considering he doesn't have too bad of a stack. Fairly high level blooded letters in high numbers, but oh well. Hopefully we can hunt him down in this episode. Now, Kroq, I guess you are going to move out immediately. There really isn't too much for you to do right now other than this, so in camp. And yeah, we'll stay in camp to heal up a little bit. And in fact, let's stay in our own territory. So let's go to here, and then hopefully we can hit Misty Mountain and the Skaven there next turn. Alrighty, Chameleon, you are going to be with Kroq, and let's move you out a little bit ahead, just in case Kroq can't move that far. And lastly, Kanos here. We're actually going to use you not to move immediately. Well, actually we will move, but not necessarily there. Gotta be behind Kroq like so, and we're going to use you to get 2 more Pterodon riders with Fire Leech Bolas on the field. Could go 3, but I mean, if we go 3, we could transfer the 2 red crests to, you know what, let's see how much money we have remaining after this. We do have a bunch of buildings that we do need to be built, and also, I do have an idea. Isoko Rismate, how many turns are you away from your destination? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, so these guys or lords take 5 turns to recover once disbanded. So we could either pay 300 turn or 300 gold per turn for him to move, or we delete him now and revive him here in 5 turns rather than having him run there, which makes more sense to me. Alrighty. Now, gold mine. You have to be a priority here. So let's upgrade you immediately. Let's also get the skink favelas up and running. And we're actually going to probably delete this breeding farm and... Yeah, we'll delete it because these things are both about to be tier 3. And then we can replace that with an old one monument, and then replace this old one monument with a skink favela or with another money-making building as well. Seems like a better use of our resources. Then Teotihuacan, we're actually going to do the same thing with you. This is going to be our military hub for now, which means we're going to be putting something here, probably the Beast Lair. We do have access to Bastillodons if we build it to tier 3 of various kinds, and Arcs of Sotek for our skink army, revivification crystals for our Saurus army, and then of course Basties with solar engines for any army to knock down walls, and maybe another feral stag for Kroq as well, because one feral stag does feel a little bit lonely. And then we can upgrade the Temple of Skulls as well. We probably want to get rid of you because everything's at tier 3, or at least recover our money. We'll build the skink favelas here, and we're gonna not have enough money to get a 3rd bird, are we? We could cancel something. We already did diplomacy, so I don't think we can get any money from anybody, which is a shame. Oh, Lamia also needs the skink favelas. Alrighty, what was something that was really expensive but not super needed right now? I wouldn't say it's the Temple of Skulls stuff. Just looking at what we could cancel. What's the difference between level 1 gold mine? Ooh, it's double. Okay, no, yeah, that's not... Definitely gonna have to get that. We can trade the Granite Massive to these guys, but I was thinking we do that next turn.
Perhaps we should stand together.
I feel like we did something in diplomacy with these guys this turn, so this is probably not all the money they could give us. What would we get for joining your war against Clan Moors? 1.6k. And we could still give them the Granite Massive afterwards. Yeah, I like that. Let's do that. We're about to attack Clan Wars anyway. There's no reason not to. Like so. And then that will give us enough money to get our 3rd flyer. There we go. Beautiful. And I think we can now also build... Well, I didn't cancel any of the skink favelas, so yeah, that's fine. Looks good to me. Let's end the turn, and then let's proceed to the Misty Mountain and the headquarters of Clan Wars. I would assume that Skarbrand sacked it rather than raised it. He did move through it, and they are at war. And he's hurt to some degree, so something happened there. Anyway, skip the rest of this, end the turn. I believe you guys are all in your right stances. Good, good, good. And a turn. I wonder, would we be able to give Thorek Misty Mountain if we were to occupy it? What if we don't occupy it? What if we just sack it? We do have 2 quests to sack settlements right now, and he is moving this way. You know what, I like that idea. We're just going to ignore it. We're going to sack it. We'll let him have it. At least this way he can guard our northern borders while we move into the Badlands and the Greater Nehekara. What do we have here? Undeadly Price. The mystical Slan mage priests have devised a new ritual to increase the speed and agility of your mighty Saurus warriors on the battlefield. However, such advances always come at a price. Some of those who fall may rise again corrupted, and the unliving are an abomination in the eyes of old ones. So we get a little bit of speed, a little bit of charge, but at the cost of corruption. +1 corruption is really not that much. As long as we have our own anti-corruption, this is probably kind of irrelevant. On the other hand, 6 turns. If it takes 1 turn to hit the Skaven here, does 10% speed really do that much for us? Honestly, it probably isn't even worth it. At least not with the current army that we have. Nah, you know what, just leave it alone. There's no need. Alrighty, more importantly, Kroq-Gar, time for you to fight once more. To Battle March, let's get that Misty Mountain. Now let's see how much we can sack it for. And whether we can do these quests. Ooh, I should have transferred a thing, but we can do that after... No, we cannot do it after. Well, we can do it after, but... Huh. Yeah, we're not gonna... No, let Thorek have it, it's fine. You're gonna go into Channeling stance instead. Kanos Kier and Chameleon, you're gonna go into March stances. You are going to transfer to Kroq. Or you're going to take a couple of things from Kroq, rather. Oh, there's a Skaven Plague Light right there. I don't like that. You are going to take Kroq-Gar's Red Crests. One will be replaced by the Legion of Chaqua. The Regiment of Renowned Saurus Warriors. And the other will be replaced by a Pterodon Riders. Though unfortunately, it looks like we can't give them all to you. Alright, Kanos Kier, transfer them for now. It's starting to get confusing with these armies. Alright, like so. And then maybe you can transfer... Yes, you can. Alright. 3rd Fireleech Bola for Kroq. At least until he gets other stuff in there. And we got a Saurus Strain here. The Saurus Centipede. Oh, man. I'm not sorry. You. Trade Settlement. Grand and Massive. How much? 3.4k. That's not bad. I wonder if we could get more if we wait longer. Maybe. You know what? Let's check some diplomacy in the meantime. Is Telakwa at war with anybody? Ooh. No, they're not, but Itza is at war with everybody. And we do want to confederate Gorok. It would be amazing to confederate Gorok or Mazdamundi early, and then start fighting in Lustria at the exact same time that we're still fighting over in the desert. That's gotta make that a priority. Clan Spittle... We can declare war on you. You're a minor faction, although you're kind of actually... Wait, Clan Spittle is here. So they're actually a little bit more likely to sail over the sea and attack us. Thousand Maws will never come here. Hunts Marshal's expedition is hated by the by Mazdamundi as well, typically. Alright, what about that? Yes, and 384. Just out of curiosity, if we also join your war against another faction... You know what? Let's go Clan Spittle. You'd be giving us a little bit more money. We can always do that later as well. Yeah, you know what, let's leave it alone for now. Let's not do Spittle. Let's do this. Alright, now we're rising up to plus 41. That's much more manageable. In terms of getting good relationship, these guys are not going to be liking us very much for being friendly with Itza, but, well, whatever, what do we care? Knights of Caledor. We could be friendly with as well, but as I recall, you don't like Thorek very much, which is kind of interesting because these guys usually love Karak Azul. I usually see them malign. But I think that if they don't like Thorek, that could be dangerous for us. Well, just in case, let's just see here. For example, we join war against the Darklands orcs. You would be giving us a non-aggression pact and a little bit of cash. What's the likelihood we get into a fight with Darklands orcs right now? Pretty low. I suppose in theory they could march down through this through Pig Barter or something, and then sail down here. You know, let's wait on this. They like the fact that we're fighting Clan Moors already, so I don't think it makes that much of a difference anyway. Now, Kroq-Gar and Co. You guys have moved. Let's build some buildings. Let's end one more turn. A little bit admin heavy at the start of this episode, but hey, at the very least we're building our empire. You are gonna go for the Taming Pen, but let's see if there's other more important stuff, like Skink Favelas first, risking Barrios. Then you are gonna go for the Grand Plaza, i.e. the Old One Monument. Yes to more money. Kingdom of the Beasts, yes to more money, go figure. Temple of the Skulls, you are pretty okay in terms of public order, so more money. And then we'll build the public order building here. And the Golden Pass, lastly, oh, that's Teotihuacan. Alright, we can't afford this thing, so I guess we start building it. May as well. Ooh, also, we got 4 turns until we have access to Shielded Source, which will be nice as well. Alright. Taming Pen it is. And there goes all of our cash, but that's okay. Let's go next turn now. Let's see if Thorek will be willing to give us more money for the Grand and Massif after this, as long as it doesn't rebel. No, it's still fine. Not great, but it's fine. Let's also hope that Scarby maybe attacks us. Nope, he is not. He did either win or lose a battle, depending on who... oh, I see him right there. I guess he won. And Thorek, well, he's right beside Misty Mountain, so I assume that means he's going to take it next turn. We probably want to avoid Kradtommen. Let's go straight up north to Dringo, Karaz, and Saxon places. Mostly to avoid that damn Skaven Plague. It's only got 1 turn, mind you, but I'd really rather not risk it. Disastermancy stance... It does give you ambush defense chance, but it doesn't do anything for plague, so... yeah, let's move up this way. Past the attrition, and up to Dringo Karaz. Ooh, this puts us in Kradtommen. Wait, let's stay in Misty Mountain. Like so. That way, the plague might get transferred to Misty Mountain, but hopefully not us. But who knows. You... oh wow, you can't really travel that far. I'm a little bit worried about you getting attacked by Skaven, actually. Because they can ambush. You know what, let's pop you into encamp stance and just slowly follow behind rather than in march. And then I guess Kanos Kier can... well, you know what? Kanos Kier can follow with Chameleon. It's not like we're afraid of Kroq-Gar getting hurt after all. Like so. Alright, you guys stay there. You're both in the right territory. And once again, we got money. And maybe more money if we can trade the Grand and Massive this time.
Perhaps we
what do we got now?
3.7.
Yeah, okay, that looks like that's probably the most amount of money he's willing to give us for it. Alright, that's fine. Here's what we'll do. Are you at war with anybody? No, let's check Talaqua again. No, they're not at war with anybody. Alright, Ironbrow. Join war against everybody, I guess. And Defensive Alliance, 26, and oh wow, plus 12.7. We'd be able to get them to join even more wars, which would make them weaker, and thus less likely to be at war with other factions. Well, then we could get more money out of them. They'd actually be willing to trade us another settlement for this, most likely, but there's not one we want. We could actually swap around Granite Massif and Mahrock, but we might as well allow them to have the full province. I'm now just thinking if we should declare war on somebody else for money, and then have Thorek do the same. Which we probably should. You're not at war with anybody yet? No. Who could we fight? Who could we fight that is inevitable and that we will fight? Clan Pestilence we definitely will fight, but the problem with that is they're kind of close to the coastline and are a little bit more likely to sail over here, pass through all of our friendly territories, and annoy us. On the other hand... we haven't identified them yet. They're not going to declare war on us while they remain unidentified. I mean, frankly, the same thing was true for all these guys. Only we could identify the cult of Sotek somehow. Let's see what else we have here. Crooked Moon, Mutinous Gits. Not really a concern for us right now. I mean, we could declare war on them. But how would that benefit us? We can't ask the other dwarfs for this. so that doesn't really help. Khemri, not really helpful.
My madness is not weakness.
Yeah, alright, I think that's not gonna work. Alright, let's just take what we can get from Thorek. I mean, we could also wait, but I'd like to get the Defensive Alliance. Let's see if we really need money right now. I mean, we do need money, but let's see if we need it this turn. Like, if we upgrade the Skink Barrios here, and we upgrade the Gem Mine at Lamia. Really need the Public Order here. Oh, wow. I should have gone for Public Order instead of the Skink Barrios. Oh, well. We can build one here temporarily, for example. Yeah, so really the only thing we need to do is a 4K for upgrading the Holy Ziggurat here, but since we have the Old One Monument here... it doesn't seem like something we have to hurry with. I feel like we could wait for another war, and then draw Thorek in afterwards. Yeah, you know what, let's upgrade you instead, Lotus Gathering Camp. The rest of this is just a matter of time. Alrighty, looks good to me. We gotta find some rats to fight. Alright, Thorek, take Misty Mountain, buddy. Ooh. Just now wondering, what if there's a way we could swap some stuff around? And where the heck did he go? He didn't take it. Thorek, come on, man. What are you doing? You're supposed to go fight Clan Moors. Alright, well, he's not being very helpful. 2,000 gold, whatever it is, I don't want it. Enemy hero action success chance, hero self-defense chance? No, I don't care. Let's give this a read, though. One shot. Your Slan Mage Priest's researches reveal the whereabouts of a distant but accessible plaque recording a ritual, usable once, which will powerfully defend your greatest Soroskar veteran against agents of the ancient enemy. Is it worth sending an expedition especially to retrieve this one-off advantage? Not for 2,000 gold, it isn't. I mean, 14 turns is quite nice, though. And we are in the middle of an enemy territory. Damn it. You know what? 14 turns is quite a while. Actually, for 2,000 gold, maybe we'll do it. The plaque is easily recovered and the ritual successful. Your Soroskar veteran will turn the blades of your enemies with even greater ease, and it is faction-wide. I'd be annoyed if these guys attack per dot, but more importantly, we get annoyed if Kroq-Gar's army gets slowed down. Well, let's not have that. And the plague is gone, beautiful, which means we can hit wherever we want. Dringo Kuraz or Krad Tommen. What's more likely to have an enemy at it? Wait, where the heck is Thorek? What? Okay, we need to just do the alliance with him, because I have no idea where he went. Double checking this... You know what, let's do it after we fight, actually. Enough admin for a little bit. The Dringo Kuraz. Ah, well, we got Queeky. And while we do have Queeky there... Okay, so the problem with this is these guys might move in and ambush our little smaller armies. I think we should just keep them here. Then again, the force isn't really all that strong, but together they might still pose something of a threat. We can move them to Krad Tommen once we figure out what we do with these guys. This looks pretty auto-resolvable. Yeah. And we got a free Gleaming Pennant out of it? Sure, why not? Occupy. No! Sack, don't occupy. We need to sack because we have to sack 4 things. Yeah, 1 and 4 and 4, yeah, okay, good. Good. You are gonna hold on to that Gleaming Pennant, I guess. And I guess we can level you up as well. We have the Blessing of Quetzal. We can get protection of the old ones if we wanted to. I do like the ambush defense chance. On the other hand, wait. Apex species give us not much at tier 1. Very useful at tier 2, though. Predatory fighter. We can make Kroqi a stronger fighter, though we don't get Blade Shield until this next tier. Maybe we start going through Swift Rider to buff his Cold One Riders. He will be using them shortly afterward, yeah. Swift Rider it is. Alrighty, and then Teto Echo, you, my friend, are going to get, let's say, evasion to start going through this. Are you close to your Pterodon? Getting there. You know what, screw it, let's kill the Roiling Skies. And just because we can. And then Kroqi, let's move you in Astromancy. We can actually take this or we could sack it again. Is there any reason to take it other than healing up? Not really. There's a bunch of other Skaven territories nearby that we could also sack, though. Yeah, screw it, let's take it. at least this way, if we occupy it, the enemy can't pass through this place. We won't collect the income, though, and we probably won't repair it. This will allow Kroq-Gar to heal, there we go, pretty much to full. And we can either abandon it or trade it to Thorek, though I still have no idea what the heck he's doing. We can actually take Misty Mountain for the same purpose as well. And if we need to, trade it to Thorek, if he's willing. Man, I was hoping for a fight there, but alas. Admin episodes will happen occasionally, there's not much we can do about that. Order of Loremaster is still not at war with anybody, Talakwa still not at war with anybody, so you know what? Ironbrow, I'm just gonna do this. I want Vision of Thorek at this point. You can have Granite Massive. We will... 4.2k, yeah, it's better than it was before. Join our wars, Defensive Alliance, and give us money. That looks pretty good.
For Grungni!
Alrighty, and there we are. Now we have a decent amount of cash, and where are you? Thorek? Did he die? Oh! He jumped up here, where we know there are more rats. Okay, that's interesting. You know what? Kanos here. Go into Astromancy. We're actually going to, I think, occupy this place. 2.5k. Yeah, it's fine. We can always trade it for Thorek, or to Thorek. Just don't bother building this up. I know that it's undefended, but once we take Kradtommen, it won't matter. You can stay in camp stance, and Kroq-Gar, you cannot switch, but you can move outside the settlement, still heal, and still channel. Perfect. And even if he gets ambushed, it doesn't matter. Really, ambushing Kroq-Gar just lets him stab in all directions, so... yeah. Next up, we do have money to spend, so more Kroq-Gar labor districts. We can upgrade you, but your public order is pretty okay right now, so it's fine. And yes, more money. Prayer to the Walking Dead? Well, if it isn't money. Let's do that, and I guess temporarily we'll build the Old One monument here, mostly because the public order here is kind of problematic. But afterwards we'll delete it and place it in Lamia anyway. Alright. I mean, in reality, -1 isn't so bad, and we could just build the insect breeding farm here instead. Plus, that'll save us a little bit of cash. Also, how many turns? 2 until this, 2 until this, and until we need to recover our perfect spawn there. Alright, the rest of that looks good. Well, let's get another end turn, and let's try to find a battle. Damage building, don't care, at least not right now in the turn. Please try to attack our army here. We'd appreciate it. Ooh, looks like Scarby's territory is plagued up. Well, where you going, Queeky? Looks like he wants to go after Chameleon and Kanos Kier. Okay. Well, isn't that interesting? And the question is, what is he gonna do if he fails this? Oh, we are about to trap him. We just need to get him into a fight with Kroq. Ooh, Confederation. Damn, Itza's doing good. Or maybe Shlanwapek is doing poorly. Either way. You. Can you fight 2 of these armies? The main thing here that concerns me is that they will ambush. So either we attack them ourselves, which we can't reach with Kroq-Gar. We could try to defeat them and not kill Queek. Just gotta make sure that we kill the Plague Monks with the Pterodon Riders. Alright, here's what we do. Kroq, you are going to Astromancy stance, and you're going to hit... well, actually, no. Go into Battle March stance. Hit Kradtommen. We'll leave Dringo Karaz. Ah! You captured the Desolation of Nagash. Okay, that's good. We will then... need this Gleaming Pennant on anybody? Sure, it doesn't matter. Put it on you. Wait, no. This provides Disciplined and affects allies in range, which means we should put it on a melee unit like you. Auto-resolve this. And then sack it. And, ooh, an Artifact Hunter. Yes, definitely going on Kroq immediately. Should put that Great Plan Archivist on somebody. Artifact Hunter can only be on Skink Priests. Okay, fine. Skink Priest it is. Like so. Then, we will occupy Kradtommen, preventing these guys' escape. Occupy. Alright, but we will continue not collecting the income. We don't really need any of the territories here. And if Thorek occupies this and continues, we may be able to figure something out. Then what we'll do is we're going to spend a little cash. Namely, we are going to recruit the Legion of Chaqua and the Cohort of Sotek. For Chameleon here. Then, both of you will attack together. You're gonna go into, I guess, an camp stance? Yeah, the melee defense is probably more valuable to you. Like, if I can actually... Is this actually in range? Let's find out. Okay, yeah, it just looked like it wasn't in range. And then, do we want Astromancy for the Vanguard deployment? Which we'll be able to Vanguard deploy... everyone but our Lord. Oh, that's kind of annoying, huh? Not that we really need the Vanguard deployment. Maybe Battle March is better after all. Let's go Battle March instead. And let's hope that we can actually reach these guys. Then we might as well level you up. Yeah, we don't know exactly what kind of army you will have, so we can't build you out to be a... and we can't go through your red line, but we can go through your other lines. Namely... missile resistance and speed. You know what, let's go for Predatory Fighter. Let's go for... Ancient Cunning. We could start going through to Geomantic Sustenance right now as well. We will need it. You know, let's go Blade Master, and then let's go Ancient Cunning. And we'll start moving through towards Geomantic Sustenance. So your army will be even cheaper. Then we're gonna fight. It's not a Thorek fight, but it is a fight. Or not a Thorek fight, a Kroq-Gar fight, but it is a fight. Just gotta give you better weapons. Sword of Strife, you can keep the Talisman of Protection. Dawnstone is inferior to what you have. Spell Shield is superior to what you have. Mighting Blade and Dragon Helm are irrelevant, and that's it for you. Do you need any ancillaries? Get a Rat Spawn Sacrifice. Lovely. And then that's Chameleon Kanos Kier. You need nothing from here, but you can have a Glyph Necklace. And you can have... I was about to say Dawnstone, but no, let's give you a Biting Blade as well. And that looks good. Oh, I guess we could level you up as well. And we could do it in the same manner. Let's get you Predatory Fighter. Let's get you Blade Master. Another point in Blade Master afterwards, and then we start moving through this tree. Alright. Alright. Well, let's hope that they don't run. They will not. Beautiful. Valiant defeat, apparently, but we shall see about that. We do have the Legion of Chaqua as our main line. They provide Sundering Armor, which we will need to personally fight Queeg Headtaker. The Skaven Slave Slingers are going to be an issue for us, but we can very heavily damage these clan rats before the enemy can do anything. You do have Howling Warp Gale, but it does no damage. Without the Skaven Slave Slingers to take advantage of that, I don't see that it'll be all that useful. Here we go. Alrighty, here we go. Let's see about that crushing defeat. Our valiant defeat, or rather. This is also Chameleon's first battle when he is not being watched over by Papa Croc, always ready to take the reins. So let's see if it is a successful one. Pats. Alrighty, here we go. We are going to start the battle off by having our Chameleon Skinks deployed towards the enemy army, and as more importantly, our Pterodon Riders as well. Pterodon Riders being absolutely fantastic, should be able to output quite a lot of damage to the enemy, though we do have to watch out for the enemy's Howling Warp Gales until the enemy does use them in conjunction with all of those Skaven Slave Slingers. These guys are going to be unharmed. They're just annoyed, mind you. Alright, Chameleon Skinks also firing away, and of course the rats, while fast enough to run away or catch Source maybe, but not fast enough for catching a Chameleon Skink. There we go, the Howling Warp Gales comes down, but our units can still fire, so as long as they're not being knocked out of the sky, they don't seem to care all that much. No, actually, okay, yeah, there we go. For a second I thought that they weren't firing, but nope, they absolutely are. I guess if this applied to a unit that could only fire in one direction rather than wherever they damn well please, it would be more problematic. But like this, and not such a big problem, and the damage output continues. Alrighty, it looks like the Chameleon Skinks have basically destroyed a unit of clan rats, and in the meantime, let's just double check what we got here. 27 kills and 9k damage, and 35 kills and 12k damage after that volley as well. Very nice. Alright, well, we can keep going for a while. We've in fact purposely deployed as far back from the enemy as possible. The enemy will have to go all the way over to us, all the while getting hit by the Chameleon Skinks and our Pterodon Riders. Bounce of power currently in our favor, and the enemy's lost already about 1,000 troops. Probably a little less than that, actually, because they started off the battle somewhat damaged in this army. But we still have Queek's reinforcements and the relatively elite army that they're bringing soon to be in. It looks like 3 Plague Monks, 2 Storm Vermin, the Clan Vulcan Tail Slashers, as well as a unit of Gutter Runners with slings, and a bunch of Skaven Slave Slingers as well. So certainly something that can dish out damage, and it's not like a unit of Skinks could hold against Plague Monks or Storm Vermin, so there's still some concerns here. We are deployed in, I think, a fairly decent position as well. We do have the high ground, a slight elevation advantage for our battle lines to fire down from. Our Skink Javeliniers, I mean. Though we do have a relatively small melee line. Looks like the bombs coming down in a blob of enemies, followed up by even more Fire Leech Bolas. And keep dishing out the damage. Now that the enemy is also moving more elite units onto the field, we're going to be moving our Pterodon Riders to try to focus down things like Plague Monks and Storm Vermin, rather than wasting their time with Clan Rats. So this will be the first of the enemy units of Plague Monks here. And they're scurrying quite quick, aren't they? Alrighty, and we're moving overhead. There's the Clan Vulcan Tail Slashers and the unit of Storm Vermin that we're going to target with the bomb drop. Very, very nice. Alrighty, now the bounce of power is back in the enemy's favor since the reinforcements are here, but we've already done, let's see, 200 kills, 44k damage, and 240 kills and 44k damage. Roughly even. Good job to both of you. Alright, and the enemy is starting to move forward. We are also going to start getting in... What the heck was that? Oh, actually that did hit somebody. A nice job. I thought for a second that our Fire Leech Bolas were firing at each other. But yeah, the enemy has been sufficiently annoyed and are now starting to move forward. I guess they were waiting for reinforcements. Funnily enough, they might have actually done better if they had not waited and allowed us to continue damaging them like this. They just directly charged our lines. On the other hand, the pile of clan rats would have been routed by the time Queek's army got here, so... And they were kind of in a damned if you do and damned if you don't situation. Oh, God, guys, don't fire at the front of the line. Fire into the middle. I really wish I could control your unit's behavior like that. To directly fire into the middle of blobs. Kind of like you can target the ground with artillery, but not quite the same. As that requires a lot of constant shifting with a unit like the Fire Leech Bolas. Anyway, the enemy is about halfway to our battle lines, but that means that we can still bombard them for a little while longer. We may not have artillery, but when the enemy has absolutely no answer to a unit like the Fire Leech Bolas, they might as well be artillery. 300 kills already. Although those numbers are relatively small for Skaven, mind you, and the damage is still pretty high. Alright, and we got a Bonebreaker Chieftain moving up front as well. We'll have to try to target that or hopefully kill it before Queek gets here. He should be considerably slower. And the Fast Boy is moving out in front of his army, which may be kind of an error for him. Alrighty, enemy army is nearly here. What kind of troops are we facing? Okay, 4,000 rather than the 6.2 thousand that they started with, so quite a bit better. We've also lost, by the looks of it, a few Chameleon Skinks to some probably Warp Lightnings, but that's not too bad. Alrighty, here comes the Bonebreaker. And he's gonna jump in. Oh, both of them leapt at each other. The Bonebreaker lands only to take approximately 800 javelins to the back. And wow, he certainly likes to leap around. But our two Saurus Lords are going to start hacking away at him while the javelins still come down. This guy's already at half HP. You do have to be careful about Queek, however. He may be low level. Well, 15. He's still... He's an equivalent level to both of our lords together, but he's also quite fierce. He's got way more armor than we do, and he does more damage as well, which is kind of surprising. In a straight-up fight, Legendary Lord or not, I'd still expect a Saurus Old Blood or Scarvet to be able to absolutely crush Queek if he could land a blow, basically. Obviously, it depends on whether Queek or how Queek fights, but he's still a Skaven at the end of the day. He's still going to be tinier and much weaker in terms of direct strength, though maybe not combat prowess. I'm not saying that Queek wouldn't be able to defeat a Saurus Lord or a Scarvet. He absolutely would. I'm just saying if the blow lands, it ain't going to be pretty for Queek. But he's got his rat speed to rely on, and his general sneakiness, by virtue of being Skaven, though Queek ain't the sneakiest of Skaven. Anyway, I digress. The battle continues, though it is now just a main line versus a main line. Of course, our Fire Leech Bolas continue to support, and our Javelins sailing overhead in the similar way to the enemy's slings. It looks like our Legion of Chakwa are fighting in the middle of a big blob of enemies and are starting to take damage from the enemy Plague Monks, but we have been focusing the Plague Monks directly. We've also peeled away our Lords, both our Saurus, Scarvet, and our Old Blood from Queek, who is just too scary and can rip them apart without too much trouble. In fact, we're just going to sacrifice a unit of Skink Cohort to distract Queek, as his splash damage wouldn't be high enough to kill them all. He's a much better duelist than he is an infantry blender. So we'll sacrifice this unit of Skink Cohort to distract him, while the Saurus go fight his army, who are then too weak to kill the Saurus, plus both of our Saurus have regeneration, so a little bit of time away from Queek's Dwarf Gouger biting into their armor, or into their scales, will allow them to recover. Very nice Fire Leech Bolas, very nice. Oh, and there's our red-crested skinks, our cohort of Sotek, who always do quite well. They are a tier 3 unit. They've got bleed as well as very high melee attack and decent weapon strength, still half of that of Saurus, but at 160 model counts. Plus bleed will enable them to do just a crazy amount of damage to things like Skaven. Alright, keep it up. Also, they're so adorable. Their scales do match the enemy's armor, though. Everything's blood and then red scales and red clothes here. Or rags for at least the clan rats and the Skaven slaves. Alrighty, also this is the debut battle for the Legion of Chakwa, not just the cohort of Sotek, and these guys got some lovely armor. They look pretty fantastic, almost Temple Guard-like in the amount of armor that they have. Otherwise, the battle is rather at 50-50 now. We've lost about 400 units on our side, and the enemy's down to 2k out of the 6k they started with. That said, their main line is starting to collapse, and we've been able to get around their flanks and into their Skaven Slave Slingers. Our Chameleon Skinks have moved out, and our cohorts are charging the Slingers, preventing them from firing, and further annoying our Pterodon Riders, who are now basically out of ammunition, though they haven't really lost any models at the time. 100,000 damage and 700 kills on this unit. You gotta love these. You can see why I prioritized building them as fast as possible, and wanted more. In the early game armies, it's really great to have 4 to 6 of them. They're worth a lot more than your other infantry are gonna be, even several units of other infantry, especially against the particular factions that we're starting out against. Yeah, if we were fighting High Elves, it would be a little bit of a different story, as they just pile on with the arrows and the Lothran Sea Guard. So more arrows. But against the Skaven, they're pretty darn great. Against Khorne, they're pretty okay, because Khorne has very little air defenses and is relatively slow. And then against the Tomb Kings, they're fantastic because of the regular skeleton's weakness to fire, as well as their tight formations and relative weakness in the early game. Anyway, I digress. While the battle has ended, the enemy has shattered, and everybody will run. We don't actually want to kill Queek here, though. We want to farm his defeat trait because it's really great, especially in SFO. I've been trying to get Vermin Flail in another campaign as well, so yeah. Everything else, though, is definitely a target. Specifically, we want to make sure that every single one of the Storm Vermin or any elite units here does get killed. The Plague Monks, of course, fought to a rat because they're unbreakable, which is to the detriment of the AI, but otherwise, there were a decent amount of units that did, in fact, escape. On the bright side, though, that's a very nice debut for Chameleon, rather, in his battle. Oh, wow, there's a screaming bell overhead. Just watch it just fall over while you're battling. Or fall down on everybody. Yeah, looked pretty good. Pyrrhic victory, mind you, but we lost only about a quarter, I think, of our forces, and that is pretty okay. On top of that, this is probably due, at least in part, to the fact that we expended pretty much all of our ammunition on both our Javelineers as well as our Fire Leech Bolas. Nice debut for Chameleon. Good job, buddy. Alrighty, I think that went reasonably well. Too bad we couldn't steal the Scarecrow banner. Would have actually been nice with our Pigeon Plucker pendant and our Feather Foe Torque all on one unit. But anyway, the Fire Leech Bolas, as expected, absolutely cleaning up 100k damage and 88k damage, and nothing else really compares with the exception of the cohort of Sotek at nearly 30k. Very nice, and these little guys certainly did a decent amount of damage. We got very nice amounts of damage on the Chameleon Skinks as well, and we do have to remember that both the Chameleon Skinks and the Pterodon Riders did spend much longer in battle than everybody else did, as they were annoying the enemy forces as they moved towards us. We did manage to clear one of the Storm Vermin and all of the Plague Monks from Queek's army, so his is no longer elite. Alas, the Chieftain survived, but we can't be doing too much about that. Either way, I'm proud of Chameleon. Our little Chameleon is growing up, finally able to act on his own as a separate army. We may need to heal, though. There are decent rewards, there's money and stuff, but who knows what'll happen, and if we get attacked again, and he may need to fight again. So let's kill an 8. Alright, now Queek's gonna back off, and so is Garth the Lethal. Are we able to reach them? Trait gained, yes, Vermin Flail. Upkeep minus 5% for Lord's Army, and this is why I wanted this trait on Kroq-Gar, but we can't get it on Kroq-Gar right now, which is kind of an issue. Come to Channeling Stance, by the way, just so that you don't waste extra money in Battle March. Man. Can you... No, you can't move that far either. Well, actually, we could get it on Kanos Kier as well, can't we?
No, blame you.
We could come in as a reinforcement. It's more important on Kroq-Gar, though, far more important. But there's no guarantee that we would be able to actually get it on Kroq-Gar. If this guy jumps away, though, where would he go? Alright, so he would try to jump over Kroq and then up here. How many territories do these guys have left? I just want to make sure that we don't accidentally kill them before we can get the trait. Oh, can I not talk to you? Okay, there we go. These guys have 4 territories left, so presumably Crooked Fang Fort, Spite Peak, Sump Pit, and possibly Kirak Azul as well. I mean, I do imagine that Queek will probably come back before we can... I genuinely don't know. It might be worth risking these armies surviving just to try to get the trade on Kroq, because I'm not sure that this guy could actually run anywhere anymore. Like, what's he gonna do? We put Chameleon in encampment stance, or even an Astromancy stance so that they can't ambush him. And just sit here. And encamp, heal up, but as we can clearly see, we'd win the battle regardless. And we could put Kanos Kier back into Misty Mountain to defend himself. Yeah, you know what? I think that's what we're going to do. I'd rather get Kroq-Gar the plus 5% upkeep reduction. It's just so significant, and even if Queek jumps over... Or we just wait for him for 5 turns to recover. Now, what's the likelihood that anybody actually kills him? He is at war with a lot of factions, mind you, but if we go towards the Exiles of Khorne, it'll really just be Thorak, and I doubt that Thorak has enough of an army to clear everybody out here. So I think we're okay. There also may be value to giving Thorek Misty Mountain, so that he has a border and can then be given Dringo Karaz, because I don't think he can be given Dringo Karaz right now, can he? Yeah, no. So if we give him Misty Mountain, then we could give him Dringo Karaz, trade back from Misty Mountain, and then we keep this province with the gems and allow Thorek to have everything to the north of that. Might be the way to go as well, but you know what? I'm gonna figure that out next time. There are definitely different options with how we could go about this. And you know what? You guys let me know what you think. Do we risk Queek jumping away and surviving, or do we attack and get the guaranteed buff right now on Kanos Kier? Granted, there is a decent likelihood that Queek survives anyway, and we will be able to hunt him down. But for example, in my Belagar campaign, I did the exact same thing, sort of, and has kind of been unable to hunt down Queek. So to not get Vermin Flail, which is a very significant buff, would be unfortunate. Basically, mini armor sundering on an entire army, plus the upkeep reduction. Especially when we get expensive dinos, it'll all be very significant. Anyway, you guys let me know what you think about that, as well as how we deal with Thorek and the territories up here. We obviously don't need everything in the mountains, and we got better places to be in the desert. Otherwise, stay tuned for more lizards. Don't forget to leave a like and comment. All glory to the algorithm. And thanks for watching.